This is the High School Crossfire. Welcome back.
Basics. One can develop themselves through developing their community. And team affirmative is supposed to prove to us the motion. So, speaker, answer the questions as respectively. One, is your side against the rise of the digital social entrepreneurship as the motion requires, or is your side against digital social entrepreneurship?
Pardon?
Is your side against digital social entrepreneurship or against the rise of digital social entrepreneurship as the motion requires?
No, it isn't.
It is against the rise of digital social entrepreneurship. Okay, does your side encourage the digital social entrepreneurship?
Yes, it does.
But it's against its rise. If you have a disease and you have a medicine that can relieve pain, you have a medicine that can cure you slowly and one that can cure you faster, which one do you choose? The one that cures you faster, right?
No, the one that cures me to the best.
The one that cures you to the best.
Yes.
And sometimes it can be that cures you faster. So in simple terms, if this SE is a solution to what is in the traditional community-based economic systems and they are in favor of it, meaning if it raises, they support it. Question number 2. Can you buy something useless to you?
Pardon?
You can't buy something useless to you, right?
I can.
So if they can buy something useless to them, meaning somehow, somewhere, they'll have to find a value for that thing they have bought. So entrepreneurs aim at creating market by creating a use for what they are producing. If at all entrepreneurs are within an area, they'll solve a problem for their product that they are producing so that they create market for it. So at the end of the day, even when developing themselves, they are also solving the problems in their communities. Question number 3. Whereas our side of the world shows you that traditional community-based economic systems are being developed by the rise of digital social entrepreneurship, what does your side of the world show?
It shows that they're actually leading to the undermining of the traditional based economic system.
But you're okay with the digital social entrepreneurship alone being with the traditional community? So straight into question analysis. One, straight into question analysis. We ask them whether their side is against the digital social entrepreneurship, but then they confirm that their side is against the race. If at all their side is against the race, they do not then justify or prove to us why they are against the race. Because at the end of the day, what then they bring in are things such as individualism being caused by the digital entrepreneurship. But at the end of the day, if at all they are okay with the digital entrepreneurship, then if you're okay with something or some sort of medicine, just like as the analysis we are giving you, then you'll be able to encourage that medicine that will heal you faster. If at all this digital social entrepreneurship is medicine to the problems being faced in these traditional community-based economic systems, then why are you against its raise? And then question number 2, we ask them whether they can buy something useless to them. Adamantly, they answer yes, but we all know even when you buy it as useless, you'll have to find value for it. Realize that entrepreneurs aim at getting market. They will produce something irrelevant to the people. These entrepreneurs will solve problems in the societies. If at all they are solving problems, then they are creating need for their products in the communities, meaning there is no individualism at all. And just as I began, you can develop yourself by developing your community. I'm going to produce a good that helps the people in my community. They will buy it. I have developed them and they are bringing the money to me since they are developing me. And then 3, we ask them. And then 3, they bring in a point of individualism. 1, we want to show you that at the end of the day, we beat them at their own case and also our case. At the end of the day, we are showing you that as to see the recent report of 2024, 67% of the people lack digital access, but 23% have digital access. Our side of the world, as our speakers have explained, is that ours has both the digital social entrepreneurship improving on the traditional community-based economic systems. Our side of the world will maintain the traditional economic-based systems for the 35%, for the 33% that lack the digital access. But also this digital social entrepreneurship that has been involved will help those that don't have it. So we win at individualism and also our own case.
Okay. So, opposer. Do you agree that not everyone in East Africa has access to reliable internet or digital tools?
That is why we leave the traditional one to cater for those that lack the access, but then there are those that have access.
So you agree that not everyone gets access, right?
We also agree that some get access.
So next, would you say digital entrepreneurship has done nothing to increase economic inequalities between different social groups?
Pardon?
Would you say digital entrepreneurship has done nothing to increase economic inequalities between different social groups?
No, we would say that the digital social entrepreneurship is the one that has improved on the traditional economic base, the traditional community-based economic
Do all
systems
entrepreneurs
in East
reinvest
Africa.
in their local communities to support traditional practices?
The
Do all entrepreneurs,
digital social entrepreneurs do, since they
so
are
they do reinvest in their societies? Okay, thank
they
you.
solve problems in their societies.
It's fine. It's
As
fine. Do digital businesses stick around for a long enough time to truly help communities?
Them being social, as the social aspect in it, they
Do
stick
they
around. to
stick
help the
around
community.
for a long time or not?
Things such as
Do they stick around for a long time or not?
they stick around.
They stick around. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jury, the motion is this House believes that the rise of digital social entrepreneurship in East Africa undermines traditional community-based economic systems. So we dearly think the team opposition has clearly misinterpreted this motion, because the motion is seeking for, yes, we are all looking into getting proper development in the country. So with development in the country, we get to see that development has very, very many approaches, right? So there's an approach of us having digital social entrepreneurship, then there's the approach of us sticking to the traditional community-based economic systems, right? So if there are two aspects of getting development, the motion is telling us that one aspect is now overweighing the other, that we are dwelling into another aspect more than the other. So therefore, as team proposition, we are supposed to clearly tell you that actually, because of the rise in this digital social entrepreneurship, whereby the first speaker told us that they're not going to be processing things like ICTs, caring more about them, we are going to undermine the fact that even the traditional community-based economic systems are important to our development in the country. So as team proposition, our whole detail is to tell you that this rise of digital social entrepreneurship has led to undermining of the traditional community-based economics. So I ask him a question: how does the digital divide ensure that all members of the community benefit equally? We get to see that not everyone in the community gets to access this. Then I ask him a question: do all entrepreneurs who access this digital entrepreneurship come in and reinvest in their societies? We get to see that no, because our team clearly shows you that there is always an imbalance. We're not against the digital social entrepreneurship, but we're against the rise, because the rise has made us realize that we have literally undermined another important key sector in the development of the country. So with us undermining another sector, we are going to see that we are not going to achieve the middle income status as a country, because we are going to see that we give them statistics that over 357.3 million people are found not to actually have simple access to internet. So if they can't access internet, and majorly the world is dwelling in digital social entrepreneurship, so why at the end of the day are we undermining the traditional community-based systems that they deal in? So we are supposed to support both sides. So we clearly show them that the rise of digital socio-economic entrepreneurship is actually now the effect that is causing the degradation or the low development, because it's now dwelling on one side. But development has so many different ways of reaching the point. So with traditional economic based systems as presented by my team, we surely think that with us engaging in also the traditional community based systems, we dearly believe that development will be maximally achieved because of the different principles like socialization, and there's less individualism, and we shall be able to have enough resource pool, because as a community, if the country needs support, we shall be able to support them. So we are not against digital social entrepreneurship, but we are rather against the rise of digital social entrepreneurship, because it clearly shows us that now we are underestimating the actual traditional community-based systems. Thank you, our dear judges.
I want to appreciate both teams, both team affirmative and team negative. However, I will not say that this was really a good round. It was fair. So what I would just request both teams is that please go back and make more research on what a creative economy means. You should know the difference between digital social entrepreneurship and technological social entrepreneurship. Those are two different things. Number two, this was a resolution that was saying this House believes that the rise of, not the raising of. So meaning if we are saying the rise of, it means the raising has already taken place. We are not looking at something that is rising, but we are debating something that has already risen. So now for team negative to say that no, we are looking at something that is continuous. No, the resolution does not say that the raising of, it says the rise of, meaning it has already happened. Are we together? What do we now get from team affirmative? Team affirmative talks about the issue of individualism, which I really appreciate. Team negative, you are able to respond. You are taking that no, but virtue that we are having interconnectedness from many people from different regions, and then the globalization, it means we are really solving the issue of individualism. Then another thing that comes from team affirmative is illiteracy, economic exclusion, where some of the people cannot be able to afford the tools Then they talk about lack of involvement due to the shortage of the internet. Now, team negative, you cannot come and make a response to the issue of illiteracy, economic exclusion, and lack of involvement of the internet by saying that we are integrating. No, this is something that is already in place. You cannot not say that no, we are going to integrate the digital and the traditional. No, you are meant to tell us that no. For example, if we are talking, if now I've given the statistics of people that do not have the funds, now which statistics do you have of people that are having access? Because the truth of the matter is, we are having very many people that are having access to the digital that you are talking about. Now for you, they are telling you that no, most of the people do not have the funds. They give the statistics. They talk about the issues of illiteracy. For example, people in the rural areas. Now they talk about the lack of access to internet. Now your response to that as team negative that has the burden of rebuttal, you cannot say that no, these people are going to work together. We are going to have working together the digital and the traditional that we are now going to integrate. No, now give them the statistics, because the truth of the matter is right now we are having people that are having the accessibility. Even people in the rural areas, most of them are having the funds, because now there is a way you are now literally it's like you considered what they are talking about, but you are in support of the digital. So how do you support the digital and then you consider that actually now since most people lack funds, we are now going to work together or we are going to integrate them? That is a very big contradiction that you can never come up with as a team negative.
So style 15, both of you, strategy 27, 25, content 22, 22 this side.
You could get more marks for content, but the issue that now, if you're now telling me of Wikipedia, oh, I take it as though now there is totally no content talked about for the start. So making a total of 64, 62%. Thank you so much. 64 for affirmative, 62 for negative. Thank you.
In this debate, I think why the team that is going to lose or is going to learn in this debate is going to learn is because they failed to listen to what the opponent said. In the very first speech, there was characterization that was provided by either team for what they wanted their debate to look like. However, Team Affirmative provided characterization of what traditional community-based economic systems are. And they took a stand that they are not entirely against digital social entrepreneurship. So, Team Negative to have a say in this debate, in as much as you did a very good role in fulfilling the burden of proving to us the advantages and how digital social entrepreneurship is able to enhance traditional community-based economic systems, you failed on your primary role as a team negative to refute what these people are saying has been undermined. You failed to tell us how these digital social entrepreneurship platforms do not undermine. However, you were able to prove to us that they are able to enhance. However, enhancing does not necessarily mean that you do not undermine. In simple terms, what I mean is, we were not basically arguing or discussing advantages and disadvantages of digital social entrepreneurship or advantages and disadvantages of traditional community-based economic systems. And we are not basically doing differentiation. So we are doing comparison of the two. In comparison, we relate both the similarities and the differences. Therefore, it was incumbent upon either teams to fulfill their roles in their full capacity. In as much as you want to prove to us that this undermines, this does not undermine, you should also tell us the other side. These are the marks for me. I gave Team Affirmative 15 on style, Team Negative 16. For content, I gave both teams 29. Strategy is where I differed. I gave Team Affirmative 29, I gave Team Negative 27. You had a very nice strategy of telling us how digital entrepreneurship enhances traditional community-based economic systems. However, you failed to tell us how it does not undermine what had been staged by Team Affirmative. Things like the bonding, the trust, and the community welfare that were created. Simply by saying social or by saying rise does not mean that you have answered how bonding and trust happens on this side. In totality, I give Team Negative a 72, I give Team Affirmative a 73. And the win goes to Team Affirmative for me. Thank you.
The aspect that we're dealing with today is traditional community-based economic systems. What do we get from this entire concept? We do see that these are economic systems that rely and are found in rural areas that are non-industrialized. These systems are going to majorly rely on survival-based activities that have been brought into action by members of the community. So we're looking at those very, very traditional sorts of activities that different communities in the past used to develop. You can bring about things like subsistence farming and so on and so forth. Now, to the burdens, what did we expect from Team Affirmative? From Team Affirmative, we expected you to show how the rise of digital social entrepreneurship is negatively affecting traditional community-based economic systems. Now, what did we expect from Team Negative? We expected you to instead show us how digital social entrepreneurship has been beneficial to the traditional community-based economic systems whilst taking into consideration the core values of that very system. Onto what was submitted. We have a Team Negative that comes up and tries to front arguments such as innovation fostering, efficiency is brought up. You talk to us about loss of stability and vulnerability. This is where I find faults in those arguments. When you talk about loss of stability and vulnerability, we do realize that this instead is affecting traditional community-based economic systems. And in that line, realize that you have shot yourself in the leg effectively by discussing what is supposed to be brought up by Team Affirmative. We further on question you on the aspect of applicability. If you say that these digital social entrepreneurship models are going to benefit the community, you need to show us that even that person at the bottom of the food chain is going to be able to benefit from this entire approach. Now, this is where Team Affirmative comes up and is going to question you on the following fronts. First, they are going to bring to light the fact that traditional community-based economic systems have core values. They talk to you about things like unity, they talk to you about things like trust and community engagement, which are actively undermined by digital social entrepreneurship systems. How do they bring this into, let's say, contextualization? They bring this to light by showing you that, one, the person down there that you're dealing with in the village doesn't even have access to these digital platforms that you want to use to leverage your communities. They bring to you another fact that we have income inequality in traditional settings. We bring to you a fact that there's economic exclusion in such a setting. They go further and talk to you about access. So at the end of the day, we do realize that Team Affirmative does not engage them on those fronts. Onto the marks. Rather, Team Negative does not engage Team Affirmative on those remarks. Onto the marks. For style, I gave both teams 15. For strategy, I gave Team Affirmative 25 and Team Negative 20. Reason being, Team Affirmative was able to show us beyond reasonable doubt that these digital social entrepreneurship models are undermining traditional community-based economic systems. Reason being, they are not taking into account the core values that traditional economic-based systems are made up of. When it comes to content, I give Team Affirmative 25, Team Negative, I give you 25, making the total 65 to 60. It is therefore a unanimous decision that Team Affirmative takes the day. Thank you.